Hey there guys, welcome to today's Captain's Blog. It is Saturday, October 27th at 12:18 hours, and we're here for the Alan Carter woodworking demo, wood turning demo. It still counts as woodworking. It does.
You're in
I know,
there.
but this, you got to see him yesterday in what was entirely too short of a Captain's Blog, but we had a lot to do because we had to set up for all these people who are coming in, hanging out. And they're having all kinds of fun, and it's been a whole thing. We started doing this at like 8 a.m., show started at 9:30, I think?
We had people setting up before 8 a.m.
Well, yeah, but I didn't see those. I was with the video team. But you gotta see what this guy can do. If you're watching a live stream right now, it's impressive. And there'll be production videos coming out soon. But
oh, you gotta show him this one.
Okay, show him what I gotta show him, Moose.
Check out that.
That's neat, and that's all wood.
So Australian big, huh? Yeah. I don't know if the woodcraft at home have gotten a batch of it. I don't know if they send it to everybody.
That is quite the piece.
That is high art woodworking.
Yeah, that is definitely high art.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're hanging out. We're doing the event. There's a lot of live stream happening. We've got the best audio we've ever had on a live stream.
The guys here are so excited and happy.
Oh yeah, all the wood guys are thrilled.
Yeah, this has been great. We've even had some of our geeks watching here going, oh, that's so cool.
See, this is totally cool because this is exactly what the Geek Group is about. People getting together, talking about really specific esoteric things that they're into, science, technology, learning. It's making. You know, they're talking about making stuff, and it turns me on. No idea where the hell Kidwell went. I think he's at Starbucks. All right, we'll be back.
This is as warm as it's going to get.
Well,
come on in.
We could have a bucket or so and just burn that for firewood then to keep it up.
You know, the Geek Group has offered this room up to be our kind of own studio. They have an overhead that we can set up, which is mobile and will move with a camera. They can tilt it. They're going to run it off of a little...
What about lighting?
That'll be dealt with. Walls will be painted. We have to run electric, but first we got to digest the wood pile.
We're almost done.
Seriously, I mean, it was tall. Yeah, it was taller than that. Yeah. And we couldn't get to the door. Okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So now, if we can, as soon as we can get up here, we'll have our 7 lathes or 6 lathes in here.
Oh, okay.
We'll be able to work, shoot videos. This wall will get painted. Our sponsors will have a place on the wall, okay? And this will be our bedroom, okay? Where we're gonna hold a Geek Group turning symposium where she's got kids that are interested in learning. We can bring them up here, teach them how to turn. But we've got to digest this. A goal, spring. This room's got to be done April 1.
Well,
that's because I'm gone till
we have
April
a more
1.
urgent goal than that.
Yeah, we do.
No, we have the robots going into place in the main room, which means that it's going to get more cramped in there.
She's just breaking this to me now.
That's why it's a group, so you don't have to kill her.
I'll talk to her on the side. Date.
It's going to happen soon. We've already inked a deal with a construction company.
So the robots are where we are now.
Yeah.
Yes, and they're sitting
so
back
we
there.
Get here.
We gotta get out of that room and get into this room. There's now more of a sense of urgency. That will get announced as soon as I get downstairs. And I'll tell them we've been thrown out of that room. Do we want to meet here anymore or not? If we do, it's here.
I say the heck with the robots. They don't have no feelings, you know. So what do we care about them, right?
But you see the potential of the room.
Oh, it's
Okay.
You guys got a way to paint these walls, or?
Lighting's
Oh yeah, we got that.
I've got a scaffolding in that.
No,
if they were thinking about as far
No,
as
we've got scaffolding.
Oh,
We've
great.
we're
Oh.
This room's going to be built as a full functional studio. This is Studio A.
Okay.
There'll be a stage up there with big overhead monitors. There'll be a projection screen. There'll be a robotic camera unit overhead on a gantry system, so that we don't have to have the camera right behind the guy.
Oh,
looking down
okay.
here. We'll be able to
All right.
bring
Oh,
a camera right down, and it'll just
okay.
come down on a stick. And we'll be able to pan and tilt the camera and move everything around. We'll have a full lighting grid. There'll be special lights like the rest of the building that are designed for video. We'll have properly painted walls that aren't just white. They're going to be a proper white. So that the guy would, because if all the walls are the wrong, like if you just go to Menards and buy cheap white paint and paint all the walls, the guy will look blue. And if you have the wrong lights, he'll look blue with yellow casts on his forehead, and it's got to work right for video. We'll handle the echo in here. Heating won't be a problem. You put 50 guys in this room, cooling is a problem. So yeah, we're ready to go. We'll build a stage and everything. There'll be seating out through here. The room will be able to be configured for big live events like what we're doing, or for small close groups around a bunch of machines. But there has to be live stream cameras, main cameras, production cameras, electrical. I mean, there's a lot to it. It all starts with you guys finishing up the, and this is nothing. This is almost done.
Yeah.
And we've come a long way. That pile's half as high, and hell,
I remember.
there. Yeah. So this is awesome. And really, if we could get a couple teams together, this could be done. If we could do it one day a week, this could be done in a month. It really could. It's just a matter of getting the people in here, getting the time in on it.
Well, I'm tied up till the middle of
There's a lot of guys out there.
I mean, because I got a wood show that I'm doing, so I'm running all the time. But after that, yeah,
It's everybody getting down here, and that's his fiasco.
What's that?
Getting guys down here.
That's what just talking to Phyllis about. We need volunteers.
Yeah. Well, I'm tied up till the 15th because I got a woodworking show, so I'm out in my shop from 8 o'clock till 7 o'clock at night making stuff. Yeah.
Well,
but after that,
we'll schedule an event today. I'm going to schedule something.
So what do you do with this? You cut it up?
We run it through a chop saw, and we chop the nails out.
Oh, okay.
Okay? It's so much fat. Oh yeah, pulling them would be a disaster because they're running at an angle. Okay? So now you chop, you throw the scraps here, the good wood goes downstairs, there's a huge stack of wood, and they're going to reprocess the wood. They're selling some of it as pen blanks. We'll also do an event. They sell pens. So now we're going to have a pen. The Geek Group sells finished pens. So she has the blanks and she has the inserts. We're going to come in here on our 6 or 7 lathes, spend a day making pens that they can sell. Okay? You got to give back something.
were all those nails bent over, or somebody do that when they?
I don't know.
Well, the reason why is on this old house I saw that is they were talking about refurbishing, and they actually had a nail gun for they were going in the house to recycle the stuff and then take it to recycle. They actually had a nail gun or whatever that would drive the nails out. So they just put it over, but with them being bent like that. But
Yeah.
that's the first I've ever heard of it, because
We pulled all the wood out of the big room. This was gym floor, and it was put in 1974. It's grade A rock maple, and it's hard as hell. So we're just cutting it right out. It's easy.
Any of it that's figure and or bird's eye, we pull out. And that goes directly
Have
to
you been
list.
making pens with it then yourself?
I've made several hundred pens.
How is it for turning?
It's beautiful.
Is it? I mean, you have a lot more problems because it's so hard for chipping, or I mean, you go.
It's actually so hard that it doesn't chip.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it
So you
goes
go at a
right-
faster speed though than for turning, or?
I'm turning at like 1500 RPM.
Okay.
So you see what we're trying to accomplish here.
But
Yeah,
it's hard enough and smooth enough that when I'm done, I start sanding with 600 grit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's because she has great tool control.
But yeah, it's come a long way since we started.
Yeah,
I remember.
Well, there's a time-lapse video of this, and you can watch the pile go down. Yeah, that's what the camera is here, is for time-lapse.
So what are you thinking about
That's the
getting the next group in here then?
Friday the 9th, Thursday the 9th.
But we're here every day, so if you want to come chop.
Yeah, you can come any day by yourself. One saw is set up. The ideal situation is to get 10 or 12 people in here. You got somebody feeding, somebody dragging away,
And we have a
somebody
couple
cutting.
more saws, so if people just show up impromptu, I will set up more saws.
Dick Van Arnhem has been coming in by himself and cutting. Yeah.
He did all of this
Yeah.
in like an hour.
Yeah.
See, until after my show like that.
Liz, where are we at on the dump?
Reserve for the mini project.
Oh, okay.
Well, thank you. Now I know. Look at you, need it.
Yeah.
Hey, Steve?
What kind of
The recording studio, camera studio, yeah.
Okay, Ron?
Editing.
Go dump truck.
This is film,
Because I've been occupied
this
for a
is
few
Liz's
months
desk.
now.
And these desks are all filled with people doing editing, animation. Our videos are animated too.
Oh, are
At the end-
they?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
They're professionally done. This is HD TV. Okay? Go in and look at it.
I will. Okay. Oops, I didn't mean to get in your way.
And when you're here, you're always on camera.
Oh, really?
You'll get used to that.
Yeah, exactly. Just
Reality TV?
Pretty much, yeah.
just ignore it, okay?
Hey, Ron?
Somebody's
Oh,
playing
no more
pool.
than 10 minutes?
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you.
This way?
Yes. Yes, the catacombs here. Yeah, it's here.
You could get lost.
Oh, easily. If you do a full tour, yeah. I don't know when, buddy. The 9th, I think.
That's the difference of Friday. You have to have a show. You have to show wonderful. You need that bird.
Well, actually, if we have time to get into the foot bowl part, which is what a lot of these are, I'll talk about that some more. Basically, the vessel part of it, I don't want to pick this up because but I think most of you have seen it. This part here was turned just as a big shallow bowl. This was also turned as a little deeper bowl, and then they're cut in half on a band. So actually, I cut them in half on a scroll saw, but you can use a band saw, and then reassemble. And that's, if you look at all of these, like this piece here, it's the same process to make this as that. And it's kind of the piece up here, what I'm going to work on this afternoon, is the same process that I use to make, like this one and even this one here. So this is all cut out. This center part here is actually 3 layers of veneer. I didn't have any solid wood that was big enough, so I used, when I made furniture, I did a lot of veneering, and so I've still got quite a bit left over. So I just glued veneer strips together, so I end up with a piece that's about 1/16 of an inch thick, and I used this as a guide to get this edge. Then I drew the outer edge and did all the piercing on it. Once I had turned this bowl here, you could see all the way through this, so I cut out, I had to get the bowl turned pretty thin and pretty consistently because I knew that I was going to have this opening. So once I did that and I made a pattern for that shape, taped it on there, drew around it, and then I cut out the opening on both sides, and then made this part and glued it on. And kind of the same way here, you can see all the way through. This is actually holly here, and this is actually solid wood on this one. But I cut all this out on a scroll saw inside here, and cleaned it up, painted all the insides black so you can't see any of the wood or anything inside, so it's like a black void, and then glued all that on. So the piece went through some changes as I developed it. Originally I was going to have this flipped around the other way, but I can't. This part here was going to go the other direction, and I decided it looked better having the wider part at this end. But that happens a lot with my work, particularly larger pieces. I'll have an idea for something, and as I make it, changes will happen. I'll see something that I think will work better than my original thought, because when you're looking at something as a sketch, you get one idea. When you actually see it in 3D, then that changes your perspective. And so that usually happens. I'd say probably 80% of my work doesn't look like I thought it was going to at the beginning, because I'll make sometimes subtle changes, sometimes dramatic changes in the design to get it to work right. And one of the things that I do when I get to a point, like say on a piece like this even, where I have this little vessel turned, and I was like, well, okay, how am I going to present this? And so I played around with some shapes, some scraps that I had, and I made a couple of paper cutouts of this shape, put it up against it just to see what would work best, rather than cutting out wood to do it. I just did it out of like cardstock, and that way I could work out all of the design elements before I actually invested time in the wood itself. And that's pretty much the way I work on anything. On even something like this, I'll take the finial off. I had the idea I was going to do a kind of a side-mounted piece, but once I had the vessel turned, then I made a paper cutout of this part to get the proportions worked out on that. So for the way I work, that's a pretty common technique. And even on a piece like that, I made full-size templates to see what worked, and went through several of those before I finally settled on the final one. So it's a very open-ended process, and and I think it can really, you know, if you think about doing things like that, you have an idea for a piece that you want to make, and you think this is the way it's going to be, but as you start to work on it, you're going to find maybe it'll look better if I did this instead. So I think it's a really good idea to stay really open-minded about it, and you know, try different things. And if you're not sure what to do, set the thing aside. Put it where you can't see it for a while, and revisit it later. Sometimes get it. You know, if you have something sitting out all the time that's partially finished, and you think, well, I can look at it every day and I can get an idea. Sometimes that works, but sometimes you get sort of a mental block about it. And if you set it aside where you can't see it, and maybe even almost forget about it, and then come back, you look at it with fresh eyes, and you say, oh, now I know what to do. So I do that a lot too. So
do you duplicate something like that?
I try not to. I try to make every piece unique, which is really hard, especially on smaller pieces. And of course the goblets, I mean, it's virtually impossible. But it's unavoidable to repeat certain things. But I kind of let, the wood is always unique, so that helps. But I try to vary the presentation, not just for the sake of varying it, but maybe to make it something that fits that particular turning better than just, you know, in other words, I couldn't just make a whole bunch of turnings like that, a whole bunch of stands like that as a production type of
But something like that that's so unique, and if you sell it,
I wouldn't make another one.
you wouldn't make
No.
another one. That would be
I might. I'd done a couple of pieces smaller than this that were flipped over, that were sort of the germ for this. I did a small one and a little bit bigger one, and I thought, well, what would happen if I turned it over? And that's what came out of that. And now I've got ideas for other pieces that are derived from this idea, but I would not duplicate that piece again. It's sort of a been there, done that type of thing. And it might not be fair to whoever does buy it. You want your artwork to be unique, all your own, and if all of a sudden you see 5 more of them, it kind of lessens that a little bit. But that's another huge discussion we could have forever. So anyway, that's kind of, in a nutshell, sort of the process I go through when I'm designing pieces. You know, artists talk about their notebooks, and there's some that will have stacks and stacks of notebooks with sketches and stuff that they've done. You know, I've never really done that, and I don't do it much now. I do some very brief sketches, but you know, I think the sketch for that big piece was like half a page on a 6x9 notebook, and just a couple, you know, little squiggles here and there, and then I kind of do it as I go, line up just right. So it doesn't matter how great the turning is, how great the wood is. You know, if the pins are off and the piece ends up like that, you know, it's going to be a disaster. So the whole point of this really is, or the whole focus is on pin placement, where to put the holes, where to put the pins, and then I'll show you, after we get done, I'll show you some slides of pieces that were based, that kind of grew out of this original idea. So set this aside.
I learned how to run a machine shop.
Set up an enterprise level server.
Program 9-foot robots.
Make lightning!
Edit video.
I'm building a radio station.
Light bulb terrarium.
A high-performance electric car.
I'm a CNC geek.
Computer geek!
Robot geek.
Physics geek!
AV geek.
I'm a radio geek.
Craft geek.
Car buff.
No matter what kind of geek you are, we've got a place for you here at the Geek Group. Come join us. We build awesome.